Hey guys, welcome back to Astroways Feng Shui. Last episode, we introduced you guys to the 3 cycles and 9 periods. Now you know there's this thing called 3 cycles and 9 periods. And you know the 3 cycles are upper cycle, middle cycle, lower cycle. You know each cycle is 60 years, 3 cycles are 180 years in total. Within each cycle there are 3 periods, so 9 periods in total out of 3 cycles. Okay, but what are these periods? I also mentioned that there are 9 hexagrams from I Ching that represents these 9 periods, and these 9 hexagrams are absolutely everywhere in Feng Shui. They also represent the 9 flying stars, and these 9 flying stars not only exist in each period but also in each year. They change every year, and every flying star goes to a different place every year. But before we start diving too deep into how we apply these 9 hexagrams to different fields of Feng Shui, let's get to know these hexagrams first. And before we talk about these 9 hexagrams, here I'd like to go back a bit to the I Ching, or mostly known as the I Ching. What is a hexagram in I Ching? A hexagram is a symbol of 6 horizontal lines, with each line either a solid line or a broken line. The solid one is a yang line, the male line, and the broken one is yin line, the female line. Female's always more broken than male. Just 2 possibilities, solid or broken. So 6 lines. In Chinese, the line is called yao. So 6 yaos, 2 possibilities each yao, yin yao or yang yao. These can form 64 different combinations. So there are 64 types of hexagrams in I Ching. Each hexagram has a meaning. Each hexagram represents a situation or an issue. It's like tarot cards. Each one has a story, an explanation of a situation. That's why hexagrams can also be used in prediction. We call it 卜卦, if you've heard of it. We can talk more about 卜卦another day. The hexagram itself is a very complicated individual if you want to dive deep into it. Each yao in each hexagram also has a meaning, also has a name. It's read from bottom to top. Each yao in each hexagram also explains a situation. It's like a whole storyline itself going from bottom to top, how things progressed and resolve. If I keep talking like this, you're gonna fall asleep. So no, let's not dive into every single yao in every single hexagram. And not to mention, I also want to tell you about the 64 hexagram is from the 8 initial hexagrams, which are formed with 3 lines. That's why the 6 lines in each hexagram can be broken into 2 groups, 3 lines each, and those 8 initial hexagrams are actually 4 2-lined hexagrams, also called the 4 symbols, which represents the different strength level of yin and yang. And those 4 double-lined hexagrams are of course from just 2 symbol lines, yin and yang. And those 2 yin and yang lines are, of course, from a symbol that you might have seen many times in your life, and you've been calling it the symbol of yinyang for all your lifetime, but this symbol is actually called Tai Chi. Yes, Tai Chi, the Tai Chi exercises that you see all Chinese people do in the squares. And where is Tai Chi from? Nothing. Emptiness. Everything begins with nothing. You came to this world with nothing on you. And you know what the official translation for this emptiness, this empty circle? Ultimately, or the infinite, or the limitless. There's nothing to limit you. The original form of you is the ultimate form of you. In Chinese, it's called wuji. Wuji produces taiji. Taiji is tai chi. Tai chi is the supreme ultimate, or the great ultimate. Now I've just slightly summarized to you the I Ching basis. I Ching can be a whole course by itself if you're interested in. Now let's come back to Feng Shui. Today we're here to introduce you those 9 chosen hexagrams that represents the 9 periods and also the 9 flying stars in Feng Shui, and also can relate to the 9 planets in astrology. And also there are 9 energy centers in human design that can relate to the chakras. Everything is 9. Anyways, first one, the first period of the 9 period within the 3 cycles, which is also the first flying star. We call it the first white star in the flying star system, or the first white period Feng Shui. The hexagram that represents this period is the number 29 hexagram, is called Kan, the abysmal, meaning water. Water is its element. The hexagram is composed from bottom to top, broken line, broken, solid, and broken. In the flying star system, the first white star is classed as a good star, a lucky star. The corresponding star in Ziwei Dou Shu is Tanlang, the desire star. The first period always starts with a Yangwood rat year. In fact, every new period always starts in a Yangwood year, which is the first element on the heavenly stem. If you've been following my Bazi chart videos, you know what I mean by heavenly stem. Because there are 10 heavenly stems in total, that means every period always starts with young wood. And also because there are 12 earthly branches, starting with rat. That makes every 60 years a complete loop. So every cycle is 1 loop, 3 loops for 3 cycles. Our previous first period was from year 1864 to year 1883, and because it's a period of water and desire, the areas of fields that got the most development were mainly related to creative stuff like art, poetry, literature, performance, or areas related to water flows like shipping and other types of transportation industry, as well as trading. Movement-related types of areas also had a massive expansion. Some of our great artists were from that period, like Vincent van Gogh, Pablo Picasso, Claude Monet, Gustave Klimt, Henri Matisse, so many. Now, I do have more knowledge in art than in other fields. That's why I can give you a lot of examples in that. Transportation also had its revolution in some major cities in the world. So this is the hexagram for the first period and the first flying star. The first flying star is the luckiest star. The second period and the second flying star's hexagram is number 2 hexagram. It's called Kun, the receptive. The previous Kun period was from year 1884 to 1903, which started with the Yangwood monkey year. If you have a little bit of knowledge about I Ching, you probably recognize this hexagram, Kun. So in I Ching, there are the extreme yang hexagram and the extreme yin hexagram, one with all 6 solid yang lines and the other with all 6 broken yin lines. One represents heaven and the other represents earth. One represents male and the other one represents female. Kun is the one with all 6 broken lines. It's the one that represents earth and female. And of course, the element of it is called earth. Why females is the receptive? Is the earth? Well, male is the heaven, the one on top. The earth is very accepting, very inclusive. It embraces everything. It takes everything. Traditionally, female plays the role of obeying. The wife listens to the husband, does whatever he says. He makes the decision, he goes out to work while the wife stays home doing everything he asks, like a puppy dog. But I Ching is very smart with the wording. They use an animal to represent female, but it's not the puppy dog. It's horse. Horse does listen to its owner, but horse has its own character. They don't blindly listen, and they have ambition, and the owner has to look after them. Female is the earth. You can grow plants on the earth. The earth provides for you. It's worth watching my video about earth element in my Bazi chart playlist. You have more understanding of the earth element. So, okay, the second period is earth. It's Kun, it's black. It's called the second black star in the flying star system. Because if you look at the Tai Chi symbol, it's a black and white symbol. Black is the female, white is the male. This one is easy to understand, and the second black star's corresponding Ziwei Dou Shu is Qu which associates with communication, anything to do with the mouth. And in the flying star system, the second black star is also considered one of the most unlucky stars. Together with the 5th star are the worst stars in the flying star system. How can a communication star be the worst star? Because it represents disease, accidents, disasters, lawsuits, and financially broken. It's easy to relate because all 6 lines are broken. How can it not be broken? I'm joking. Think about it. Both the best things and the worst things are mostly related to your mouth. In Chinese, we have a saying, disease enters by the mouth and trouble comes out of the mouth. What you eat, what you take in via your mouth usually is the cause of the disease or the illness you have. And what situation you find yourself in is usually related to the words that comes out from your mouth. Mouth is one of the most important part of your body. It can ruin your life if you're not careful with what you eat and what you say. So be careful of that. During the previous second black period, we had a few significant disease outbreaks in the world, which include the Russian flu pandemic, the third plague pandemic, the last outbreak of the cholera pandemic, the Spanish flu pandemic, etc. Also, because Kun is the strongest female star, usually during Kun periods, there should be a strong female rights in society. Back in the previous second period, England was ruled by Queen Victoria. She was one of the most powerful and longest reigning queen, while in China, the one and only empress in the whole China history ruled China during a second black period. And the previous second black period, the Chinese government was also controlled by a so-called co-empress for almost the whole period. So this is the second period and the second black flying star. The third period, which is the last period in the first cycle, this period we're going to talk about today is the third jade star in the flying star system. Jade is blue-greenish and it's wood element, and its hexagram is number 51, Zhen hexagram. The arousing. It also means thundering because thunder arouses, it shocks, and it's a wood element. Whenever there's a thunder, there's rain coming. rain can water the plants and the wood will grow. This period begins with a young wood dragon year, and the corresponding 紫微斗数 star is 禄存, the abundance star. It's a lucky star in 紫微斗数, but it's an unlucky star in the flying star system. If it's in a bad place, it mainly means a bad reputation. It's not as bad as the second black star we just talked about. The second black star is much more deadly than this. The third jade star is more of a reputation gone bad, bad words spread behind your back, disagreement between different parties, which may lead to lawsuits or loss of money, or even wars in the wider picture. The previous third period was from the year 1904 to 1923, and World War I was within this period. You see, most events happened during that time were mainly about allies and dignity, ambition related. The conflicts were more on the outside, more on the assumption level, without too much deep communication or thought process. Generally speaking, among the 5 elements, it's easier to trigger big wars or small wars spread to big wars during wood and fire periods. This is generally speaking. Also, depending on the stars and timeline. What also gets really popular and well developed during wood period is movies, performance, writing, music, art, creative stuff. Literature also gets very popular, and you find people are more inspired to create and produce. This field gets even more emphasized in the next period, which is also a wood period, and even better. It literally has the star of literature as the 紫微斗数 star. We'll talk more about it in the next period in our next episode. Now, because it takes such a long time to introduce you only the first 3 periods, I don't know if I can finish all the periods in this episode. So we'll continue in the next episode. I hope I'm not just giving you boring lessons of Feng Shui and I Ching. I hope you also enjoy the little stories and explanations within the boredom. And you know, one knowledge can lead to another. None of these things is truly isolated. It's like if you got a headache and you found out the headache is related to your ears or your eyes, then it's actually something to do with your liver, your digestive system. Everything's connected. And yet, each one is unique and remarkable. Okay guys, that's all for today. If you want to have a Feng Shui reading session or a personal chart reading with me, you can email me at astroways.info@gmail.com. If you like my video, please give me a thumbs up. If you want to know more about metaphysics, please subscribe my channel and I'll keep you updated.